Canon has always made some amazing lenses throughout the years, and the 100mm macro 2.8L is probably the best macro lens in the entire lineup. Announced in 2009 and still going strong in the market. So this is a pretty good looking lens overall. Now, majority of the build is plastic with only a metal mount, but as expected from all Canon L lenses, build quality is not bad at all. Now on top we have a plastic filter thread which takes 67mm filters. It also has a nice big rubberized focus ring with a good distance scale that shows you accurately the magnification ratio of which your lens is focused at. It also has this bit here for you to mount the unincluded tripod mount collar for extra stability when you're shooting with a tripod. And on the side of the lens you have the standard switches to turn on and off the image stabilization, on and off, and you have the AF/MF switch, and you have a focus limiter. Basically it has on 3 settings. You have it on full setting, that means it focuses throughout the full range from macro to infinity. It has 0.3 meters to 0.5 meters, that's basically for closest focusing and macro shooting. So basically it gets the AF to perform slightly better, so it doesn't go hunting beyond that range. And we have 0.5 meters to infinity, which is basically for general non-macro shooting. So this lens does what it's supposed and designed to do: 1:1 true life-size macro photography. Now it also comes with a humongous hood, the Canon ET73, which makes the lens look very big and huge and long. Now the lens itself isn't that heavy, it's actually a fairly light lens. Now, as stated in the specs, the working distance of this lens is 30 centimeters, but actually that is the working distance of the subject to the sensor. So the actual practical working distance that's from the tip of your lens to your subject is only about 13 centimeters. But with the hood on though, the hood adds a lot of length to your lens, so it would decrease that distance to just a mere 5 centimeters away from the tip of the hood to your subject. And with such a massive hood, it's actually quite prone to having the shadow from the hood from obscuring the light on your subject. Now, focusing speed. Focusing speed is actually very quick with this lens. On general shooting, the lens snaps onto focus right away. However though, the AF is not that effective for very close-up macro shooting. But still, as all serious macro work is done, the focus is done manually. Now, a special feature of this lens is the hybrid IS system. So basically, it doesn't just correct angular shake, but also shift shake. So it's actually slightly louder than the conventional AF, and it makes an extra sort of robotic mechanical noise compared to just the clicking noise of conventional AF. Now the IS for general long distance shooting, it's actually quite effective. It in fact works very well. But however though, it all comes down to when you're doing 1:1 life-size macro shooting. Now when it comes down to that, the AF does give you a little extra stability, but other than that, it's still not too much of help at all at high magnifications. Now the 100mm macro lens has actually quite sophisticated optics, but one thing that's usually not mentioned is, like most macro lenses, the 100mm macro lens also loses light as it is focused to a higher magnification. So when you focus the lens down to 1:1 magnification ratio, it actually loses about 1.5 stops of light. So this happens because when you focus nearer, the light spreads out further, so you get a overall darker image. So for example, here's a subject focused at normal focusing distance, and here it is again focused at closest 1:1 macro distance. Now notice how much darker the image is, but however all the exposure settings were kept exactly the same on these both shots. So the camera doesn't actually show the true f-stop value to make up for the corresponding loss of light. So this means you will have to correct the exposure manually. Now focus breathing, it's there, but then not a big issue if you don't shoot video, but it shouldn't be very noticeable as long as your focus pulls aren't that long. For just short pulls, the focus breathing is negligible. Image quality, I have no complaints about image quality on this lens. This lens is very sharp and with very minimal color fringing at high magnifications. However though, one particular issue you might get with this lens is manual focus at normal range shooting. But after all, this is a macro lens designed for use only at short range. But still, what happens is it's quite hard to actually fine-tune your focus when you're shooting at more distant subject, because and there's no issue for subjects within the macro range. It works very well, no issues at all. But at normal distance, the focus jumps a very long way with only a very minute turn of the focus ring. So again, not a problem if you don't shoot video, but if you do, you might face focusing issues because your focus gets thrown way out with only a slight turn of the focus ring. So you are forced to do very fine-tuning. So that is pretty much it for this lens, the Canon EF 100mm Macro 2.8L image stabilizer USM lens, and it's undoubtedly a fantastic lens if you do macro photography. So if you have any more questions about this lens, feel free to post them in the comment section below. Leave me a rating and subscribe for more videos. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.